Hey, everybody. We're Geeking Out Ninjas, and we're here to geek out. What's going on, Craig?
Well, I just broke a glass.
Well, there you go. Let's open it up with
Yeah,
what's happening tonight.
the late breaking news of just right now. Went to go get a glass of water and just happened to hit my hand with the cabinet door and lost grip of the glass. And it went bounce, bounce, bounce.
Yeah.
Spent the last like
Yes.
5 or 10 minutes cleaning it up.
Yep. While I was waiting here, staring into nothingness.
Yeah. Jeremiah was like, are you coming back?
I didn't know there for a little bit.
Apparently he thought I fell in the well or something.
Yeah. Yeah. So, what kind of flooring do you have?
It's
Is
all
it tile?
Yeah.
Ooh. It made it 3 bounces. That's pretty good.
It made 3 bounces. What's funny is I think it hit one of the hollow tiles. You know how when you sometimes you have like a hollow point underneath a specific tile, and
Yeah.
you hear like this hollow bounce. The first one was like a hollow bounce, and then the second one hit, and then the third one was just like game over.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yep. Oh,
It,
yeah.
it went in all directions. I hate breaking glasses. It's always
Yes.
it's the
Yeah.
worst.
Yeah, but you should have plastic.
I actually don't like plastic. I I know. We have a lot of plastic things. We actually bought a bunch of like plastic plates
Hmm.
just because we knew we were gonna have kids, and it's like we don't want to do the paper plate thing because it's wasteful. So it's like, all right, we'll do paper plate. We'll do plastic plates. We can, if they get beat up, if they get destroyed, whatever. Like it's totally fine if they get cut on, all that stuff.
Right.
We're gonna have kids for a long time. They're super cheap. Like let's let's do something like that. But for like glasses and things like that, I prefer cups. I actually prefer like porcelain plates just because when you put them in the dishwasher, they actually dry off. I don't know if that's just my
Right.
dryer
No,
or my dishwasher where nothing dries off if it's plastic.
that's most of them.
Yeah, I hate it so much. So
Well, I agree. I like glass too. I do not like drinking out of a plastic cup, or I don't like mason jars. It's just
yeah,
not my thing, man. Just not my thing.
you're just not trendy enough with the 40 and over crowd apparently of women.
No, no, no. It was a big discussion on what glasses we should have.
Yeah, I like just simple glasses. Nothing
There you
fancy
go.
about them. These are from IKEA, super inexpensive. Like, just give me something clear. That's all I care
That's
about.
right. That's right. Well, awesome. So what else is going on with you besides breaking glasses?
Yeah. So this past weekend, my wife and I own a photo booth
Hmm.
that we rent out. She's a wedding slash event coordinator, so it kind of ties in a lot of times, and she has other people on her team who also rent it out for their weddings and events. And so this past Friday, we had a wedding at Kendall Point, which is it's in Kendall County, off of Bernie Stage Road or one of those. I don't know what road it's on. It's
Okay.
out there.
Yeah.
Um, and so we uh, I had everything set up ahead of time. Everything's good, and so I'm just kind of standing there like looking around, which is I'm a people watcher as it is, right? It's just I know there are several other people that love doing that. That's like one of my things. I just look
Mhm.
around and I'm just observing people. Actually, I had two separate incidences happen. Uh, so the first one, I see this guy. His head is shaved, totally normal, right? Head
Right.
shaved.
Sure. Sure.
He turns his head and he's got like this triangular patch of hair on the back of his head and a ponytail that goes to the middle of his back. I'm like, that is a choice that you made at some point and you just stuck with it.
Wow. Wait. So it was all shaved.
It was all shaved except for like I don't know, like maybe a 2 inch by 3 inch patch in the back that then led to a ponytail that was like 2 feet long or something.
Weird. I'm
right?
sorry. That's just
It
weird.
was a little bizarre. I don't think I've ever seen anybody with hair like that, and it caught me off guard. I immediately texted my wife, and I'm like, "Tell me you have seen the guy with the ponytail and a shaved head." Uh, so
Could that
turns out, what?
I was gonna say, could that have been like a bachelor party
I don't think so.
issue? Maybe he lost a bet at the bachelor party. I don't
I
know.
feel like no, this guy was rocking it hardcore. Like his attitude about his life was like, "I'm gonna do whatever I want, and nobody's gonna
Hey,
stop."
more power.
Which, well, sort of, except this guy caused a couple of problems at the wedding.
Oh,
Yeah. So this guy, I guess he got into a confrontation with the DJ um, several times. Several times. So one of the times he actually just went over to the DJ's equipment and like changed the songs, which is a huge no-no. Like
right.
thousands of dollars worth of equipment. You don't want somebody who doesn't know what they're doing over there messing with your stuff. Um,
Was the DJ just like away getting a drink or
He
bite to
was
eat?
he was at the bar discussing timeline with I guess whoever was over there.
Right, right.
And so they were just trying to hash out like what we're doing next and all that stuff. All the
Sure.
behind the scenes stuff you don't ever think about with a wedding.
Yeah.
All the other people that you hired are working on for you, which is kind of the reason why you hire a planner and all these other people.
Right.
Um, and so that was like the first thing. The DJ was livid.
Ooh.
Uh, I think some other stuff happened. My wife mentioned some stuff. I don't remember exactly. These are the things that I personally saw. Later on in the night, this same guy goes up to the DJ and they're like having a discussion. It's a discussion. Um and nobody's at the photo booth at this point. Like it's kind of winded down a little
Sure,
bit. It's
sure.
towards the end of the night. It's maybe like 30 minutes left and wound down, not winded down. That's bad English. Sorry.
Yeah.
Uh, Got to correct myself because it would bother me. Um, so they're having this discussion, and the DJ is just like not having it. But this guy's like heated. He is having a heated discussion with the DJ, and the DJ is just like trying to like not make a deal out of it. Like, I think the guy even said, I'm a professional DJ. You can look me up on Facebook and all this other stuff. And the guy was just like, okay, like he gave him like the sarcastic thumbs up, like just get out of here, like leave me alone.
Right, right.
But I like started walking closer because it looked like there was going to be a confrontation, like something was going to go down. So I'm like slowly walking closer just to make sure if anything happens that maybe I can break something up.
Sure, sure.
I'm not throwing punches. I'm not doing that. But
Right.
um luckily, nothing happens, but the guy goes away, and the DJ is pissed. He is so upset, and he goes outside, gets the cop. There's always a cop on duty at
Right.
weddings. There always should be when there's alcohol, and large groups of people drinking alcohol. So the cop comes inside. The owner of the venue comes inside. The owner's brother-in-law comes inside. The owner is a pretty big guy. He's like 300 pounds, 6 foot, I don't know, 3 or 4 or whatever. The other guy, the bald head ponytail guy, he's probably like 5'9", 5'10". He's not like a real big guy.
Sure, sure.
And so they just come inside and they're just like watching, just making sure nothing happens. Luckily, nothing happened. But that it was just like it was tense. Like you could see what was happening, and nobody was enjoying themselves between the two of them, and they were causing some confrontation. The other thing that happened, so before people started coming to the photo booth, I was just kind of walking around, and my back starts to hurt if I just stand in place for too long.
Sure.
And so I'm kind of pacing back and forth a little bit here and there, and I looked out one of the windows, and just looking out the window, saw like a reflection, and I kind of stared at the reflection, like trying to figure out what it was. And after, I don't know, like 5-6 seconds of me staring at the same spot, I catch the eye of a person that is standing or sitting right outside where I'm looking. The most awkward. I'm like, oh crap. I gotta turn away.
Nice.
This lady probably thinks I've been staring at her forever. And I'm just like, oh my gosh. I'm like mortified.
Wow.
And yeah, so that was my Friday night.
Wow. Well, what's a wedding without drama, right? You got to have some kind of drama.
You got to have some drama. Yeah. Apparently one of my wife's employees had a wedding at the same venue the next night. 350 people. Insane amount of people.
Wow.
But everybody was so wasted. They were like breaking glasses, throwing alcohol all over the place. People were getting cut with the glasses. The groom almost got arrested. Like it was insane. The coordinator who was running the wedding was like, it wasn't so much a reception as more of a rager.
Wow.
Like it was like out of control. The cops were about to shut it down. It was insane. I won't go too much into it because I didn't get like full details on it, but it was it was crazy.
Nice.
There's always a story with these weddings. There's always somebody that's weird or just does something stupid.
Oh, I'm sure. There's got to be.
I'm always shocked yet not shocked.
Nice. The last wedding I went to, we had a flat tire when we tried to leave.
See? That was probably the groom. He went out there with his broken glass and slashed your tire.
It was quite interesting. Actually, a lot of the people came out and tried to help us. It was quite the night.
Nice. That's nice. What how'd you spend your weekend, Jeremiah?
Well, I got the opportunity to hang party lights outside of my back area.
What are party lights?
I call them party lights. I don't know. They're the lights that kind of hang.
The string lights?
String lights. That's a good word.
Like the big bulb string lights?
Yeah, I wouldn't say they're big bulb, but yeah. So
well, not like regular sized bulbs, but like bigger than like Christmas lights.
Yes. Yeah. And so I've had them for months. And
got around to it.
Yeah, I just got around to it because you can't just hang them up. Like you have to run a wire cable.
Oh, yeah.
Right, so that they're not just the string isn't just kind of hanging. So
yeah.
It probably took a whole afternoon to do, and we hung up. So I'm trying to add it up in my head. I'm not very good at math. 96 feet of lights. Yeah, nice. 248 foot.
Is this all for your daughter's graduation party?
Yes. Well, that was the reason I think I finally got out there to do it.
You're like, I should probably get this done before that party happens.
Exactly. We've been meaning to do it for a while, and so it just lights up the backyard because we couldn't really. It's so dark out there, so because we didn't have any other lights. So it's nice to have and nice to finally get it done and having a reason. So it wasn't too hot, it wasn't too bad. It was once by the time I was finished, I figured out how to do it. So
it's the perfect time.
It worked out. And it actually wasn't as difficult as I originally thought. So it's nice. It's lit out there. I have pictures on my phone. I think I didn't share them. That would have been nice to share, huh?
For all of our YouTube watchers.
For our YouTube, I'll tell you what. I can pull it up. I think since I have my Google Photos.
Yeah. Speaking of Google Photos, like that's like my favorite thing. I know they're getting away from like the free photos and all that stuff, but to me it's like totally worth paying to have that like auto backup / all the cool stuff. They like make memories for you, and they turn your photos into like collages and slideshows and all sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so there are my hanging lights. I think
it's a lot of light now.
Yeah, it really lit up the spot, so it was quite nice. We're very excited to have that. Yeah, wow.
You might need a dimmer. I'm just kidding.
I didn't realize it. Wow, man. Yeah, it was like completely dark back there because like there's no other lights. We kind of live in uh,
Is that
green
a green belt?
green belt. I am just not finding words tonight. So yeah, so it's very dark. So
I'll help you find all of them, Jeremiah.
I appreciate that. So yeah, very excited, very
So,
cool.
so is that not where your like your back door is?
So the back door is to the left.
So is there not like a light next to the back door?
There is the back door, like this is the side of the house.
Oh, okay.
So it's not even really the back. Um, the back door faces the green belt, and this is more of the side. And that I have like a little bitty light that doesn't give hardly any light out there.
That's the next thing you got to replace. Get new outdoor light.
Yeah, I need an automatic one. But yeah, so it didn't face the pool, it didn't face the backyard. So really, I mean, it
Gotta
was
have
completely
light.
dark out there. So
Yeah, looks good now.
it does, and it only took 5 or 6 hours.
Only took an afternoon. It's fine.
You know, it was worth it. Totally worth it.
Totally. Oh, let's look at some other photos.
No, I take weird pictures to remember stuff.
So does my wife.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you do this. So one of the other things I like is that you can share your photos, like all of like your photo thing with your wife or your another person. And I'll look at my wife sometimes and I'm like, what is she doing? Like, such bizarre photos that she's taking. A lot of times she takes screenshots of like memes and things so she can repost them on Instagram and whatnot. Not to give away her secret of how she gets all of her memes that she posts on her business Instagram. But yeah.
Oh, I know my wife thinks I take pictures of the weirdest things. Well, I take a picture of a lot of equipment, like if I'm trying to get serial numbers or something, so I can zoom in on it, right?
Oh yeah, I do that too. But I delete usually after I'm done with it.
I don't always remember. And I do have a picture. I deleted it, but it's still on one of our memories on the Google Hub. I work at a real estate office, and so there was a young man who decided that he needed his headshot taken.
Those are my favorite random photos that show up on Google on the Google Homes.
Yes, and so he's a good-looking guy. But my wife was like, "Why do you have a picture of this guy on your phone?" I was like, "He's good looking. What else am I going to do with it?" So
that's one of my that's one of my favorite things about the Google Photos. So not just when you take your own photos and you add them to like an album or something, and then they show up on the Google Homes. That's really awesome. But yeah, I've had the same thing happen. Like I took pictures of a scratch that was on my car. Boom, shows up on Google Home. I'm like, I don't care about that. Like, why is this on the home? So I'll do random stuff like that because I also choose just like recent photos as one of the categories. But the other cool thing is that so you can give these Google Homes as like photo essentially picture frames for family members. So that's what I'll set up their Google Home for them. I'll create like a shared album. Like we have one for my girls that everybody contributes to. And then we have one for like my nephews that my oldest sister has. Then we have ones for my nephew that my she's still my older sister, but the middle sister.
Your other sister.
Yeah. So we have like separate albums for each group of kids, but then what we can do is make those visible to my parents, and so they get all those new photos. If they take new photos, they automatically get added there. There's just so many cool things that you can do with those. It's like that's one of my favorite like Google features is the Google Photo integration with Google Home. Like, I think probably my favorite Google product of all time.
I agree. I think it makes things really nice and easy. Now, actually, and I was going to mention this earlier, and I totally forgot, but we were talking about weddings.
Yes.
So, what's today? Wednesday. So yesterday, I was proposed to.
Oh, by that same guy?
No, he's already married.
Not a check.
No, being in our field, we help lots of people with different things, tech wise.
Sure.
So there was a older lady who was a real estate agent who I helped her copy and paste a link from her browser to her text messages.
I'm glad you clarified about what you helped her with, because if you'd have just stopped at "I helped her," I would have had many questions.
Poor thing. It was really simple, but I helped her.
Yeah.
She was lost, and I don't know if you know me, you know that it pretty much women over 60, 65, like, man, I'm the dude. I'm like, I don't know what it is, but so after I helped her, she said, "Will you marry me?"
Oh, nice.
So I did decline.
Oh, I thought you were going to start like a Mormon household or something.
No, I think she's a pretty successful real estate agent, so it probably would have been in my best interest to accept that. But I did.
Not a bad idea.
I politely declined, and I don't think my wife would appreciate that.
I mean,
I don't know.
You might just have to meet her emotional needs, not any other needs.
I think the needs would be tech needs more than anything. And I'm just not willing to commit.
You're not willing to make that commitment of tech
No.
support for the rest of her life?
No. I already provide that tech support to my current wife.
Yeah.
And I don't think I could handle providing that to another family member.
I hear you. I have a lot of family members that I provide tech support to.
Yeah, and I just comes to a point where we got to say no.
You got to say no.
Got to say no. So, there's that.
So besides you almost getting engaged for a second time, I'm not going to go into the third time. What else is going on, Jeremiah?
So I think I've mentioned this. I am working on my certificate for a cloud architect associate with Amazon Web Services. So in this course that I took, one of the cool things is that very briefly, they ran an hour course on how to set up an Alexa skill. And so essentially, because I do have, I like Google. Google's my main go-to, but I do have an Alexa for whatever reason. I haven't gotten rid of that one. But I built a skill.
Came in handy this time.
It did. So essentially, we talked about this because you can do this with, it's called a Google routine. Did I remember that?
Yeah, depending on exactly what you did.
But what I did with Alexa basically is I created a study sheet with just text on it, and I uploaded it and created a command called basically Alexa, help me study cloud architect. Very simple command. And so then essentially all she did was read me the study sheet. So it wasn't some really cool thing that I did, but it was just interesting that I was able to do that within, an hour of this class and create something really quick and really easy. Came in handy. She read me the sheet. It helps me study. Fun little
skill that you've acquired.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'll build on top of it.
I don't think I will. I don't like Alexa.
Yeah.
But that's just me.
To each their own, right?
There you go.
So last thing that's new.
Yes.
Unless you wanted to keep talking about something else.
No. I was just going to say, I think you finally caught up.
I think so.
We're talking about The Bad Batch.
The Bad Batch. I am caught up. I have watched both episodes. I may have watched, I probably shouldn't say this. I may have watched some of the first episode at work.
What? During your lunch, obviously.
Obviously during lunch, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
I have an hour lunch, and sometimes I just sit there at my computer and watch YouTube videos, but this time I watched.
I'm glad you made it constructive this time.
I watched The Bad Batch. Hey, some of the YouTube videos I watch are quite interesting.
I'm sure they are. So, what are your thoughts?
I like it so far. There's a website that I read called Den of Geek. They have a lot of great insight into shows like this where they'll give you more information than you're probably aware of, unless you're just like a super nerd or something like that.
Sure,
Like
sure.
they're like, here's the hidden meaning behind this, or here's something, an Easter egg, or here's
I
this and
love
that.
that stuff.
Yeah. And so what's interesting in the first episode, the young Padawan is actually Kanan from Rebels. His name is Caleb on the show, but apparently he changed his name so that he could hide from
Order
the
66.
Empire and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
it was interesting to find that out. I thought that was pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
Supposedly there was a comic that dealt with that, but I didn't read that. So
Sure.
it was a nice little throw in there for me as being a Rebels fan. But yeah, I think it's off to a really good start. The first episode was an hour and 15 minutes or so,
Yeah.
and really sets everything up for where they're going, how the Empire thinks of the Bad Batch, and just everything, all their journey that they're going to go on. So I think the first episode does a really good job of getting you interested in these characters and
Mm-hmm.
wanting to know, well, what are they going to do with Omega, really?
Right. Yeah, that's the interesting, being the fifth wrong clone or whatever
Yeah.
what's the word they use?
Well, I love that her name is Omega, as in like the Alpha and Omega, the beginning and the end, like
Right.
the last clone that they made.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought that was pretty, it may be a little too on the nose, but I thought it was still pretty cool to know that she was like the very last clone that they made, and obviously they made her for different purposes, and she has some sort of skill like the other members of the Bad Batch. So it'll be
Mm-hmm.
interesting to find out, what are her skills.
Right.
So I think that's a nice, fun mystery that we'll get to explore as she goes on. I mean, she was able to shoot accurately, like
Yes.
right away. First time she's ever shot a gun, so that's kind of an interesting.
A blaster.
Yeah, I'm curious if she has like all of a blaster. Sorry, not a gun. I guess I'm interested to see if maybe she has all of the abilities that the other Bad Batch members have, like combined.
Right. Right. And I wonder if her growth is going to be uh
As quick?
quick. Yeah, as quick as what the other clones were.
I don't think so. I think I think I read somewhere that she's hasn't been given that same, like, I don't remember the exact thing, but it's like a growth speeder upper. That's what I'm calling it. That's
We're just having terrible time with words tonight.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I think she'll probably grow as the show goes on, because my guess is it'll probably run for like 4 or 5 seasons, but
Sure.
I don't think she'll grow into like an adult within that time, unless they skip ahead of time.
Yeah, I don't think that'll happen. I think they're going to show this day by day kind of thing, which
What are your thoughts?
I am, again, I like it.
Yeah.
This is probably be the first animated series that I'm actually interested in. I just didn't catch the other ones and never followed them through. I like how they're bringing characters in and out. Saw Gerrera and the Admiral. He isn't quite Grand Moff yet. Is that right? Is that the right terminology?
Yep. Grand Moff.
Tarkin.
Yep.
So I think it's entertaining. I'm liking it.
Yeah, I mean, see, and that's the thing these shows have done so far, is they put like just enough of the original movies in there to where you're like, okay, this is kind of interesting, and then they bring in so much more that's not in the movies to really expand things. So I think it hooks you in multiple ways, and they do a really good job of it. So if you are liking this, I do recommend going and watching Clone Wars and Rebels and all those things. If you want to get something finished quicker, Rebels is shorter.
How long is the Clone Wars?
It's 7 seasons, but I think most of the episodes are like 30 minutes long.
Okay.
So,
are they all on Disney Plus? I haven't even looked.
Yeah,
I think they are. I think they're all
all
there.
of them are on Disney Plus, all the
Yeah.
Clone Wars and Rebels. So
Mhm.
definitely worth a watch. Help fill in some of the gaps or some of the other pieces that they're gonna probably tie into some of the other animated shows. Like Saw Gerrera is in, I believe he's in Rebels as well as he was in Clone Wars.
Oh, I
So
didn't know that.
yeah, so before he was in Rogue One, he was in both of those shows. So it's kind of cool they just are able to do that with different characters. You see him
Yeah.
here, and I mean they don't make like a big deal out of it, but it's like advancing the story of that character a
Hmm.
little bit more, so you get to know a little bit more about them and their backstory. So it's
Of
always
course.
always fun and interesting.
Again, I don't want to wait a whole week for the next episode.
That's what I'm saying. You gotta get in on some of the other shows, and that way you won't have to wait.
I already have my list is so large. I have a lot of things to watch.
Yeah, my list has shrunk so much over the years where I'm to the point where, so I actually have an app that I track the shows that I watch just because I know I'll forget. Uh,
That's
it
a
is called,
brilliant idea.
yeah, it's called TV Show Faves. Um, I imagine it's on more than just Android, but it has like a back end. It hooks into a particular, it hooks into Tracked, and you can that backend works across different apps, so you could track your stuff across different
What?
apps if you wanted to. Yeah, movies and all that sorts of stuff, all tied to
Get
that one account.
get out. I'm
Yeah, so
totally gonna have to. What is it called? TV faves?
TV show faves. What's great about it is that um, so it shows if you're watching on YouTube, it'll actually show you the different shows that I have that I haven't watched right now. So right now I usually put mine in to do. So it's like these are the shows that I have to watch. It'll tell me, when the last time it aired. It'll tell me how many episodes I've missed. If you go to like schedule view, you can see all the ones that are coming up. Um, so I know, the Bad Batch comes out on Friday. Um, Apparently it premieres at 2 a.m. Um, Also, the Mighty Ducks Game Changers premieres on Friday at 2 a.m. on Disney Plus. If you grew up with the Mighty Ducks like I did, it's been like a fun blast from the past. They had the original cast, or some of the original cast,
Right. Yeah.
on the other day, and I was like, oh man, I was like, babe, just leave me alone for a minute. I'm like, I'm reliving my 8-year-old childhood right now. Um, so it was a good time.
Well, I just downloaded it, so I will be probably working on that tonight.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, what's also cool. I mean, you can. Uh, it shows you like all the movie or all the shows that are popular right now, so you can kind of go through them and say, hey, maybe I do want to watch that or this. And it used to. I'm not going to go into it, but yeah, really, really cool. Definitely recommend if you need to keep track of what TV shows you're watching. It has everything in there, and like you can add things in the future. So like Loki is coming out. I don't
Right.
I don't necessarily pay attention to when things come out, but if I add it to the app, it'll tell me when it's airing. So it'll be like, hey, it just aired today, or it's about to air in a few minutes, or whatever. You can have it send you notifications when something's about to be on, so you don't miss it, things like that. So
Nice.
super handy to have.
That is. That is. I'm very excited about it. I'm gonna give it a whirl.
We have not even gotten into the news. uh,
But that's okay.
This is going to be a long show. I hope everybody's ready.
We've had a great introduction. It's just keeping up with what we're doing.
We're just talking about life.
And tech, and this is great stuff. So this is a great time if you're watching on YouTube, like and subscribe, and subscribe to our podcast if you're listening to this on your phone or computer, wherever you listen to podcasts at. Definitely give us a listen and share, and hit us up on Facebook.
Yeah. Always give us comments and let us know what you like, don't like, what you want us to talk about. We're game. We're always looking for new stuff to talk about. So let us know.
Definitely. Well, let's get into the news.
Let's do it.
I was just thinking we need some sound effects.
We need some sort of news intro music, right? So we talked about AirTags a couple weeks ago when they came out, and I thought they were really cool. Turns out they could end up being a bit of an issue for people who don't want to get tracked.
Really?
So yeah, so there's been a lot of talk of people being afraid they could be used for tracking people,
Sure.
because they're not. So they're going to last a really long time because they're Bluetooth, low energy. And so they last, I don't know, like a year or something on that battery. And the interesting thing is, I mean, it essentially sits there quietly for a while. It will notify you if there is a tag nearby if you have an iPhone.
Like any
Uh,
iPhone?
any
Like,
iPhone.
so when a tag comes if I had an iPhone, when the tag comes into my range, it'll let me know that someone else has the AirTag.
It'll let you know that there's like a lost tag nearby or something like that.
Oh, if it's not like assigned to an account.
No, if it's assigned to an account.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, so you can help that person find whatever might be missing. Um, but the thing is, it doesn't. So in the instance of someone being tracked, it doesn't alert the person. Like if they don't see the notification, it doesn't alert the person audibly for like 3 days. So they could have been tracked for like 3 days without knowing that they're being tracked. And the thing that is interesting about this is it's already been the AirTag has already been jailbroken, which
Right.
in Apple parlance means that someone is already able to find out all the information that's on an AirTag, change things around, kind of do whatever they want with it. So the fear is that, hackers, people who have nefarious things that they want to do with these could turn off the audible alerts and all the other alerts that would tell someone that they're being tracked,
Mm-hmm.
and they would have like unlimited tracking ability with these AirTags.
Excuse me. So theoretically, if I was, say, a private investigator,
Yeah.
I could jailbreak one of these and stick it into the pocket, purse, or whatever of someone I
Car.
want
Yeah.
car that I'm tracking and couldn't see everywhere they go, or a jealous significant other.
Yep.
Um, wow.
Yeah. It's a little scary, right?
It is, and I to be honest, I didn't even when we first talked about this, these thoughts didn't even come through to my mind. But
Same.
but now that someone has said, "Hey, this is a security issue," now all I'm thinking about is what it could be used for.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It's definitely a little scary. The fact that it's already been jailbroken. I'm assuming Apple is going to figure out how it was jailbroken and probably block those AirTags from being on the Find My network, as they call it.
mhm.
When that'll happen, I don't know. I imagine it probably won't take too long. It'll be probably before, people can, send these out in mass of any kind.
Right.
So, I mean, Apple's really good about that kind of thing, but I mean, the possibility is still there.
Yeah. Wow. Interesting.
Yeah, maybe I'm not as gung ho about them as I once was. I thought that, they're great for being able to track your missing things, but also a little creepy at the same time.
No doubt. No doubt. Well, you could definitely. Uh, wow. I
Yeah.
see. And I don't know. Is it just because we're
I don't
like,
think yeah, I don't think
yeah,
I'm not like trying to track somebody, so it didn't even cross my mind that that
exactly.
would be used for that. But yeah,
So please don't do that.
please don't be a good human being.
Exactly. All right.
Uh, yeah,
Smart home. Is that what we're talking about next?
yeah, smart homes. So this one's really exciting to me. So if you are into smart home technology, um, normally the layman, the person who goes to Best Buy is like, I want to start a smart home. They're going to probably buy something that either connects to a hub of some kind, like Philip Hue,
Mhm.
or they're going to buy something that connects directly to Wi-Fi.
Right.
and they're going to hope that one of those two things works with like Amazon, Alexa, or Google Home or Google Assistant or whatever. And there's a bunch of other standards out there. There's a wireless technology called Zigbee. There's one called Z-Wave, which is primarily what I use because I don't like having my devices connected to the internet directly. They all go through a central hub. There's Bluetooth devices. Those are also other ones that can work directly with Google Homes and Amazon Alexas. They don't have to go through any sort of hub whatsoever. Then there's some other ones out there that do other things. So Amazon, Apple, and Google have banded together, as well as a bunch of other manufacturers, have banded together to create a new standard they're calling Matter. And it's not just like one like protocol like Wi-Fi or Bluetooth. Like it's not just one of those things, or they're not creating like a whole new standard where it's like this is the wireless thing that we're going to make you use. What's cool about this is it uses a bunch of different ones combined.
Right.
So no matter what kind of device you have, whether it's a door lock that can't have Wi-Fi because that would kill the battery in a wireless door lock too fast. Or something that needs to be on Wi-Fi because it uses more bandwidth, like a camera. So it's integrating all these different things together into this single protocol called Matter, where they'll be able to integrate with all of these different services, and you know it because it's got Amazon, Google, and Apple behind it. The three big players in the smart home game. They're going to really throw their weight behind it, and
Right.
hopefully you'll get a lot of gadgets that'll say Matter compatible or what have you. And so it'll make it a lot easier to find a device that works with any one of those things. You'll just look for Matter and it's like, cool, I know it's going to work.
Yeah.
And you don't have to worry about anything else. I think that's the biggest thing, is having that standard where, like me, I know all the different protocols. I know how to make it all work, like totally fine. But for someone to go out there and it's like, I just want my light bulbs to like change. Like I don't want to have to worry about all this stuff, or I want my door lock to just work. Like I think having something like this is a huge step in the right direction to get more people to have some sort of smart home. And it needed to happen, and I'm glad it finally did. You already have Philip Hue, who's going to change their hub to work with this. Like they're going to release an update to work with this. So I think you're probably going to see some products that are already out there get updates to where they don't have to necessarily buy all new equipment. It'll just start working the way it was meant to work.
Right. And it helps too with people that, I know there are people that go out and buy this brand or that brand, and now they don't have to worry about, oh, did I get the same kind of light bulb or same kind of camera or whatever.
Yeah.
They can mix and match for whatever they're looking for, and not have to be brand specific too. Because I know lots of people who just go and it sounds cool and they go buy it.
Yeah, exactly. You're not worried about, oh, is this going to work with my smart home hub? It's just like, oh, I totally want that like random thing for my home. That would be awesome. Let's buy that today.
Or if you have a home that has Google and Alexa,
yeah, could work with both.
It's going to work with both.
Yeah. So I think it's a great step in the right direction. It's branded Matter. So you probably won't see devices until the end of this year, beginning of next year. And I think starting next year, is when you're really going to start seeing more interesting devices. My guess is you'll see light bulbs and other like basic things probably the end of this year, early next year. And then you'll get into the more fun things to control later on.
Amazing.
Amaze balls.
What do you got next for us?
So this is actually something I'm pretty excited about. I'm a renewable energy kind of guy. I own a Tesla, have solar panels on my house, the whole works. So Massachusetts has approved an offshore wind farm. So that the cool thing about this is you can put them closer together when they're in the ocean. You can have a lot of them, and there's usually a lot more wind
Right.
over water than there is over land. So you're going to see a huge benefit to something like this. So this is the first one, I believe, in the U.S.
Yes.
Um, or it's definitely the largest by
Well,
a
it's the
great
third one.
chunk. Third
It's
one.
actually
Okay.
the third one. Yeah.
It's the largest by a large margin. I, 20, 30 times larger than the next largest one. Um, I mean, this is going to be crucial for the U.S. as time goes on. If we ever want to get away from fossil fuels, we're going to have to start doing more things like this. And it's great that the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management has approved this passage. So it's going to be 84 offshore wind turbines, or
They're hu-
turbines, as some people like to say.
and they're so huge.
They're
I mean,
massive.
when you look at them up close, I don't know if anybody's ever got a chance to do that. I mean, you can see them on the highway, always
Yeah.
driving through, but when you go and you're able to see one right there in front of you, they're huge. It's
Yeah.
amazing.
So my wife and we went on I think we were driving back from somewhere near Canada. I don't remember if it was in Montana or Minnesota, but we were driving on the way back, and they actually had one of these things laid out. They had one of the props just laid on the ground where you could go and like stand next to it. We totally stopped. And you do not realize, like, it looks huge, but you do not realize how huge this thing is until you stand next to it. And you're like, it's twice as tall as you when it's flat. And then,
Oh, that's crazy.
God, it's like so long. I mean, these things are massive. They don't cause cancer to all of you weird people, and
Right.
they don't kill birds in mass. They do, birds are stupid and they will fly through them, and it does kill birds, but we have much bigger problems killing birds than
Out in the middle of the ocean, yeah.
Yeah.
There's not many birds out in the middle of the ocean.
There are not. So hopefully this will be the first of many. I see them doing a whole bunch of these. I'm trying to see if they had. So this is 800 megawatts, which I'm trying to find where they actually. Usually they kind of break it down. It's like that's 20,000 homes or something like that. But I don't see that in the article. But
No.
it's a lot of homes that it's going to cover. Which the more of these things we can get, the more houses are going to be covered by renewable energy. Something the wind. Obviously, it stops every once in a while, but it's a pretty reliable source of energy.
No doubt.
So I'm looking forward to it. So what's our next story, Jeremiah?
Our next story is Apple's night shift.
Yeah.
Does it help improve your sleep?
Does it help?
No.
I know.
I've never used it. I've used apps. I'll say this. I've used apps to measure my sleep. It doesn't do me any good.
Yeah. So Brigham Young University, BYU, conducted a study to see how much blue light reducing features like Apple Night Shift. So the feature that turns your screen like yellowish,
orange, or yeah.
Does it improve your sleep quality? And their conclusion, no, not at all. It doesn't do anything to help you at all. And that was one of the big reasons why all these phone makers and device makers started putting this in there. It's like, oh, we're doing something good for the consumer, getting rid of the blue light. I'm like, yeah, is it really doing anything? Brigham Young says no.
I mean, I've had this forever. And like, I notice at a certain time when it turns because I'm on my phone, but yeah. It's never helped me fall asleep.
No.
Or kept me awake or vice versa or whatever. I mean, I guess my eyes feel a little bit better, but, and it doesn't help. I don't know. I don't sleep anyways. I don't know why I'm getting into this.
I don't either. But so there was.
I have to take sleeping pills. I just have a tough time sleeping.
Yeah.
In case everybody wanted to know.
I'm sure everybody does. I'm sure now everybody's going to tell you what pills you should take to make your sleep better.
I've tried it.
So
but we have results now that tell me that the blue light's not keeping me awake.
The blue light is not keeping you awake. They did say there was some improvement in sleep quality for those who didn't use their smartphones at all. So
sure.
there's that.
Well, yeah.
I think that's
Obviously.
more of a your brain sort of situation. I don't know if that's necessarily light related, but
Yeah, because there's so many things that go on. You know, I don't let my kids take their phones upstairs because their bedrooms are upstairs.
yeah,
But my phone's in my bed.
same.
I look at my phone before I go to bed, and that's probably a reason why I don't sleep well. But yeah, I mean, there's so many things that your brain does because I'm looking at videos or I'm reading this or that or
So much
I don't know.
stimulus.
Yes, yes, it's ridiculous.
Yeah. I'm sure the fact that, we're looking at screens all day probably doesn't help us. And there's no way around that at this point in society. So,
No, well, I have a pair of glasses that block the blue light.
yeah.
I don't wear them. Do your glasses block blue
No,
light? Yeah.
I kind of always thought it was a dumb thing. So I never really got into the whole like computer glass situation.
Yeah, I mean, I have them. In fact, they're on my desk here. They just look like glasses, but I've never. I if I have to wear glasses, it's because I can't see, not because I'm trying to block. So here we go. If you're on YouTube, you can see me put on
His spectacles.
and it does change to that orange color, but
Yeah, your face looks a little your eyes in the area below your eyes looks a bit orange as well. Looks like those old glasses that you would see like back in the 70s or 80s.
yeah. I mean, these were like $5 from Alibaba or whatever, Amazon or something.
Alibaba's Amazon.
Well, one or the other.
Yeah.
That's
Same,
weird.
same, same. Everything's from China.
Actually,
either
it
one of
turns
those
out
companies.
I've never worn these. So I'm just looking at it. Yeah, but my phone on. I turned my phone on to turn the blue light off at like I guess 10 p.m.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, there are apps that already do that. So I don't know.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, wonderful. Good job, BYU.
Yeah. So this is pretty interesting. We've talked about brain implants slash brain connections for a couple different shows now. This one's pretty interesting though. So
Oh, you pop this one in here.
yeah, I
When I
popped
wasn't
this one in
looking.
late. I had seen it earlier and didn't throw it in the news. So there's a neural implant that lets paralyzed people type by imagining writing. So this isn't like they're thinking about the letters or something like that. They're actually thinking about writing the letters, and it translates that to the actual letters. And the paralyzed individual, or I guess one paralyzed individual, hit 90 characters per minute with 99% accuracy doing this. Going from not being able to communicate at all written to going to 90 characters per minute at 99% accuracy is pretty good.
That's amazing. And so like right now, I mean, obviously it's got to be connected to the computer, but how if we start innovating this, which is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I mean, how close are we really? Like, you're just putting them in your head and it's wireless, and it's like
It's gonna
it's
happen.
almost like we can communicate without even talking.
Yeah, I don't know if we're there yet, but
No, but I'm just saying. I mean, like because you could wear smart glasses, right?
yeah,
And and you could communicate back and forth with it appearing on the glasses.
we could all be
Why not?
spots.
Why not?
Because you'd have to have some sort of implant in your brain. I don't know if I'd be down for that unless I had a like specific physical problem.
Well, in the foreseeable future, that's probably what it's going to be used for. But I think as humans that we're trying to evolve, I think that it would almost in 100 years or whatever, it may be something that becomes kind of common.
It would be some sort of biomechanical evolution.
Right. Yeah. And not that we're trying to make ourselves androids or whatever, but
Yeah, some people are.
yes, there are the few that are kind of weird that are trying to live forever. But This is just crazy.
Yeah, right.
So, so here's a question. If they're doing this, like, so you got to think about, what you're wanting to project to the screen. I know my mind, like, in seconds can go to another topic.
Yeah.
I don't know that I would be willing to have what I'm thinking appear on the screen, whether in words or images.
Yeah. So, I mean, the thing is, so they placed 200 electrodes in this person's brain,
Right.
in the participant's premotor cortex. And they said not all of them were informative for letter writing. So they're not all of these specific things are for, are useful to the specific skill. So I think the next part will probably be, hey, how many electrodes do we need to do this specific task?
Right.
And get it down to as few as possible. And I, our brain is so complex that I doubt that a lot of those things that you're thinking about would necessarily be triggered by these probes that are in the premotor cortex.
But if they can get this far, and it does say here, so accuracy of a bit over 94%, and it's a relatively slow analysis after the data was recorded. So, I mean, obviously, it's not something that we're going to be seeing used in everyday life anytime soon. But
Yeah,
um, I mean, it's just amazing where to figure out where to put these uh little nodes, and that's just crazy.
yeah. So once again, this is great for the people who have physical disabilities. I think it improves their quality of life,
Mhm.
allows them to communicate when, they wouldn't have otherwise been able to communicate. I mean, you think about when you have kids, right? They, the kids under 2 usually who can't talk real well, they get really frustrated and they express themselves by throwing tantrums or they scream or they, do this and that. Could you imagine being an adult having the same situation where it's like you can't
Right.
communicate? It's got to be so frustrating, but you can't have those outbursts, because, it's not, as an adult, that's not appropriate, but also maybe you can have those same tantrums because your body doesn't let you have those tantrums. So being able to communicate in any way like this, I think, is a huge, huge improvement in quality. So
100%. Well, I'll be honest right now, there are times when I'm trying to communicate to anybody, to my wife, to my kids, and I get frustrated and want to
yeah,
throw a tantrum just because they're not getting what I'm saying,
yeah,
no matter what words I'm using. Um, yeah, man, this is it's crazy stuff that we're getting into now, which is amazing.
yeah. It's exciting times as long as everything is used appropriately.
And I think so. I think that's going to happen. I mean, you're going to have the few outliers that are looking at this from a weird perspective, but I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't think anybody is inherently 100% evil, and
Mm,
100%.
sure. Yeah, sure.
Okay, like I said, they're outliers. There
Jeff
are,
Bezos. Did I
but
say that out loud or did I think that?
I don't know. I didn't hear anything, but you know, there's just technology and science are kind of just moving at, it really is warp speed. Like I didn't even know that they were this close already,
Yeah,
let alone thinking that it would ever be close in my lifetime for something like this to come through. So that's pretty amazing.
it
Pretty
is.
amazing.
And now for our main topic of the evening.
Tips on how to do things. I mean,
Use it.
really, I'm just
Yeah.
kind of dumbing it down for myself.
Okay.
So what I brought up this topic because I'll tell you, example earlier in the show, how do I hang the string lights? I'll tell you what I did.
Yeah.
I went to YouTube and I watched several videos on how to do it, which is where I learned to get the cable that I couldn't just hang. I would have just hung the string lights
Yeah.
on their little rubber pieces. But I don't know. I don't know why this isn't more known. Like the answers are on the internet.
They really are. A lot of your answers are on the internet. It is amazing what you can find out there. Sometimes it's maybe a lot of. So here's my favorite. Here's my favorite thing. Being in IT, we're always Googling things.
Yes,
Spoilers. It's
that's
just you can't know everything. Um, we're always Googling things. Here's the thing about people who work in IT, though. We're better Googlers than you are. We know all the little tricks and tips on how to Google things to get the answer that we need. I mean, at the end of the day, that's the secret is we are better at it than you are.
we are, and we know what we're looking for.
We know what we're looking for and we know how to search for it.
Right. Yeah, we know enough about the topic that when we search for something, it's just something we know that it's right or wrong. So it is a learned skill
Yeah.
to be able to do it. But I mean, I'll be honest. I mean, Google it, man.
Sometimes just take a chance, see what you see, try it out. Here's the deal. If you break your computer, there's always somebody there who can fix it.
Yes.
You can't really break your iPhone, so just try things.
Yeah.
Unless you drop it, and then that wasn't a good suggestion to try.
And there are tons of YouTube videos on how to do anything.
Yeah.
Even like, so when I don't work on my car, but there are some times where I need to do something specific. And it's amazing. I can look up the year, the model.
Yeah. There's always somebody.
Somebody has a video out there of the exact thing that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And it's usually multiple videos.
Yeah.
And so tell me, we got some tips here. I know that you
We
found this article here.
Yeah, we do have some tips on how to Google search better.
Yes.
There are specific things that I do all the time. One of the things that I like the most, and this is just like a basic tip. So when you search in Google, you have those tabs at the top, so you can switch between images, videos, news, books. If you click more, you can go to shopping. There's flights. You can search just maps. But one of the fun, it's not really a fun thing. One of the more useful things, if you go to tools, you can choose any time. So you can say results. No, Google, stop. I'm talking about it too much and it's trying to get involved. There is you can narrow the results by specific times. So you can search for just the past hour. Maybe you have like something that stopped working, and if you search for the past hour for that result, you're going to get better results for for the specific thing that stopped working for you. You can search past 24 hours, past week, past month, past year. I use past year a lot when I'm searching for things because there's just so much old information that's no longer useful. I'll narrow it down by just going to tools and then time, anytime, and then searching past year. That helps me so much as like a basic search criteria.
Right. Right.
The other big thing that I really use is quotation marks.
Mm-hmm.
This is a huge one for getting exactly what you're looking for. I'm trying to think of a great example. Maybe you're searching for I have a piece of paper in front of me. It says the American Hotel at Cerro Gordo. This is a YouTube channel we watch called Ghost Town Living. You can search for hotel, you can search for American, but if you search for American Hotel as just like two separate words, you might get the result that you're looking for. But there's a good chance you're going to get results for just all sorts of hotels or all sorts of things that match American. But if you put quotation marks around American Hotel, you're going to get exact matches for American Hotel and no like just hotel or just American. So putting quotes around groups of words or a specific word that you really need to find the answer to, is going to greatly increase your chances of finding something.
It does. And I'll say, even like, I don't know if this is one of the tips because I haven't read them all, but like I just start typing what I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And ultimately, Google knows that other people have looked for it.
It does the autocomplete.
And autocomplete's like, oh, because sometimes, obviously, I have problems with words and choosing what words to use.
Yeah.
So, again, all I'm doing is just getting the search started by typing it out, and Google auto fixes it. And sometimes it's wrong, but I mean, I'll be honest, more often than not, it knows.
It's one of the top results. Yeah. Before
It's
you even
crazy.
finish your query, it has your query for you.
Yeah. So there were some really good tips here, actually. I'd never used this, but actually I'm going to start using it now. The hyphen to exclude words.
Oh yeah, that one's great. So maybe you do a search for, maybe you do a search for like a movie title or something, and then as you're searching for that movie title, you realize, oh crap, this was also a TV show and a video game and all these other things. You could put you could put that title, and then you could put space dash
Hyphen.
hyphen dash. It's known as both of those things. Video game or movie, and you're just going to get the TV show results or something like that. So it gives you less information about the stuff you don't care about. So if you're getting results and you're like, I don't care about this other particular thing that somehow this is associated with, you just do a minus and then whatever that word is that you don't care about. Do you have another example? I feel like I'm not doing a great job of explaining that.
So the example in the article is Mustang, right? Which is a great example because you can get results for the car or the horse. And if you don't want results for the car, you would put Mustang space hyphen car, and then it'll take those results out. It just subtracts those results.
Yeah. Super useful to find the things that specifically you're looking for. So I mean, there's tons of other things. You can do math on Google. I don't know if you know that. You can just do 5 plus 5. Obviously, hopefully, 5 plus 5 equals 10. But you can do 5 plus 5, 8 times 5, all sorts of math equations in Google, and it'll just spit out the results for you because it actually knows how to do math versus a lot of us who maybe don't know how to do math in the correct syntax. Yeah.
Correct order. Yeah, it has helped me out quite a bit when it comes to math homework. I will say that.
You can also search for multiple words at once. So how this kind of adds to the quotation marks. So maybe you want to search for this. I'll just use the example. Best way to prepare for a job interview. So that whole phrase has quotes, but you can also search the phrase how to prepare for a job interview. All you have to do is put the word or, and it'll search for that one or that one. So it'll give you results for both of those queries at the exact same time. Or you could do chocolate or white chocolate. And so it gives you results for more things at the same time. You don't even have to put the quotes as long as you put the OR, but the OR, I believe, has to be capitalized.
Yeah. And when you start a Google search, it's another tip. You can gradually add search terms. So, when you search something, if it doesn't give you the results that you want, don't just add what you think will get you where you want to go. The example they give here is job interviews is the first try, and you're going to get tons of stuff about job interviews. But then second try is prepare for job interviews. And then the third try would be how to prepare. So it just goes back to just give it a shot.
Yeah, sometimes it's just a matter of the way you phrase your search. This kind of adds on to that. So maybe you search for I have a flat tire. It's not necessarily the best way to get the results you want, but if you switch that to repair a flat tire, you're going to get better results. Or instead of my head hurts, switch to headache relief. So it's a lot of times it's just about the words that you're using and how those words are going to get you the best results. A lot of that's based on it's searching websites. So those websites
Right.
are going to give you results that are geared towards answering a question, not having like an open-ended question. So you're essentially, I like to think of it as you're searching for the answer, not you're searching for the question.
Right.
So don't search for I have a flat tire, because that's you're just stating you have a flat tire. That doesn't You're not going to find a lot of web pages that say I have a flat tire. They're going to tell you how to repair that flat tire. So that's why you kind of have to think a little bit differently. And like, what is my end goal for this? Like, what do I want to do? Do I want to repair that flat tire? And that's the way you need to search. Search for the end goal.
Well, and I will also look, Google will also, right below your search, will also ask you, is this what you mean?
Yeah.
I use that all the time because I can't
Yeah.
spell. Did you mean this? Yeah, I did actually mean that. So look, just from our standpoint and helping people with tech, and this is what I do before I ask for help. I just Google it. Again, even if I don't know the subject, I'm just
Yeah. A lot of times, yeah, a lot of times I'll search for something one way and I'll have to completely reconfigure the words that I use. Like I'll have to change the words just because I know that, okay, I'm not getting the results I need. I need to rephrase what I'm doing. Like, and a lot of times I'll have to do that a few times just because I know I'm not going to get the results I want that way. So let me try a different way. And that's one of the keys is like, if you're not getting the results you want in the first 2 pages, usually of a Google search,
right.
think about it differently. How can you rephrase that to make it easier for Google to essentially match what you're looking for?
And you'll find your answer.
You will find your answer almost every single time. One of the things that you'll probably never remember, but is super useful. Um, you can search for specific files on Google. So, like I said, it's searching web pages. So it's finding files that are on web pages. It's finding all sorts of random things that you wouldn't even think about. But they're there if you look for them. So you could say, um, maybe you want to, like Jeremy was talking about, fixing a car. You could look for a specific maybe year, model, make, and then type in um, file type : PDF, and there's a good chance you might find the manual for the thing you're looking for, or maybe you want to find the manual for
A
a,
VCR.
a VCR, some stereos, like some appliance that you have. All you have to do usually is put in the model number and then file type : PDF. And I almost guarantee you it will give you that file to where you can download it or at least look at it online. Is almost a guarantee that you will find a manual for almost anything you're looking for. Manufacturers have that stuff on their websites. Usually it's hidden somewhere where it's not
Right.
necessarily easy to find on their support page, but it's usually there.
Mm-hmm.
And if they don't have it, other websites, they essentially just grab all those manuals and they kind of make their own list. And those things are always there as well. So it's there's tons of stuff like that where it's just crazy the stuff you can find on Google if you search the correct way.
Yeah, and so what I'll do is I'll definitely post this on our Facebook page. So go to Facebook, Geeking Out Ninjas. If you want some helpful hints about what Google can do for you, it's a time saver
It really is.
without a doubt. Now that you have your phone with you everywhere you go, learning how to use Google will save you all kinds of time. There are times where you still got to call customer service, you got to talk to a person, but Google really, almost everything is out there. It's crazy.
Empower yourself to find the answer.
Yes, become an expert in anything now.
Pretty much, yeah. If you want to figure out what it is and how to do it, You can do it. So one last thing that I use Google for all the time, I track packages with
Oh
Google.
yeah.
All you have to do is type in or copy and paste the tracking number from FedEx, UPS, USPS, the postal service. Put the tracking numbers in Google, and it's a click away. It'll say, do you want to track it with UPS or USPS or FedEx? And it will give
Oh
you
yeah.
where your package is, when it's supposed to arrive, all that kind of thing. I use it for that probably weekly.
Well, it's so
I,
easy. Yeah. You don't have to put UPS track and
yeah,
the number.
literally just put the track number in there and you're golden. But I'm one of those people who's like always has to know where my package is. I literally have a package tracking app where I put all my tracking numbers into. Just because if I forget, sometimes I'll forget that I ordered something and I'll be like, oh man, like it'll show up on the door. I'm like, what is this? Like, I don't remember ordering anything. And it's like, oh yeah, that thing I ordered 2 weeks ago finally showed up. Because I try not to buy things from Amazon, so I buy them from all sorts of other places.
Do you shop on Alibaba?
I don't.
That's kind of more of like if you're like need a big order of stuff, I guess.
I have probably shopped there once or twice, but
Yeah.
if you shop from anywhere directly in China, it's going to take you weeks to get anything.
Not
It's got to go.
necessarily.
It's got to go through customs and all that stuff. It'll probably take at least a week. They've gotten
Yeah,
a
it
little
will.
bit better. Like I think I ordered something last week and it showed up today. Um, I think I bought it on eBay though, but it came from China. What's interesting is when you have certain apps that'll track like the Chinese tracking numbers, you'll see like the status like, oh, it's in customs right now and
Yes.
being
Yeah.
inspected and all that sort of stuff. So it's kind of interesting it's almost like the behind the scenes of package tracking and where your package is. So yeah, tons of information's out there for you to find through Google or other search engines as well. A lot of these things will work for Bing or um,
DuckDuckGo.
DuckDuckGo, which is a more privacy based search engine. If you're paranoid about Google or Bing finding out about what you're tracking or what not tracking, what you're searching.
Yeah.
So yeah, empower yourself to fix your own problems.
I like it. I like it. Well, that's it for tonight. Any last words for us, Craig?
No,
No.
I hope you enjoyed the show.
I hope so too. We went a little bit long, but I think it was a good conversation. I enjoyed my time.
Yeah, hopefully y'all got something out of this.
I hope so too. So Google, if you take anything out of this, just Google it.
Just Google it.
Like and subscribe. Check us out on Facebook. Leave comments wherever you can. And we'll see you next week.
Ta-ta.